But if this is really the game plan for the Ford Motor Company to shift production of its vehicles not only out of North America, but to China, the source of this debilitating Wuhan virus, will there be a Ford in my future in the years to come? I'm sorry to say, I sincerely doubt it. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Oakville, Ontario. And before I get to today's story, folks, if you can, please visit letusreport.com. That's letusreport.com. Make a donation so that we can continue to bring you the other side of the story. Well, I'm here at the Ford assembly plant. This is Ford's last vehicle producing plant in Canada. And, well, it's being threatened right now with closure. Several sources are reporting that the vehicles that are being made here, namely the Lincoln Nautilus and the Ford Edge crossovers, well, that production is going to be shifted to China for the 2023 model year. And it makes me wonder what kind of logic, what kind of marketing, what kind of morality, for that point, is behind such a decision. I mean, after all, what we have learned from the Wuhan virus is that it has caused trillions and trillions of dollars of economic damage the world over. What's more, countries the world over are now looking at domestic production, even if it means charging more. People will choose the domestic producer because, well, when we empower China, we see what's happened. It is the source of global pandemics, and what's more, they lie about these pandemics. And how is that a selling point? If this plant closes, that means the end of about 4,200 jobs. It would be a devastating blow to Oakville, and it comes on the heels of last year General Motors closing its Oshawa assembly plant. So these are indeed, it would seem, dire days for the auto sector in Ontario. Now, I did reach out to Lauren Moore. She is the communications person for Ford Canada, and I wanted to get somebody on camera. She said that was going to be impossible. I asked if I could email questions to her, and she agreed to that, but I haven't heard back, and I don't know if I'm going to hear back, unfortunately. But here is what I asked Ms. Moore. One, I understand that the production of the Lincoln Nautilus will be moved to China in 2023. Given the multi-trillion-dollar damage done to the world economy thanks to the Wuhan virus, there is certainly anecdotal evidence that domestically made products are more coveted these days. Conversely, people are now looking upon products made in China as being a negative sales proposition. Given this current scenario, why would Ford move the production of the Nautilus to China? Number two, I would assume the rationale behind moving production to China is based purely on labor cost savings. If so, what are the cost savings Ford would realize by shifting production of this vehicle to China? And three, it is also rumored there will be no next generation Ford Edge. Therefore, does this mean that the Oakville assembly plant will indeed be shuttered? Now, like I said, at time of filming, I had not heard back from Ford, so I think the silence is a little ominous, to say the least. But like I said, folks, in the past, I mean, I'm looking for labels such as this Made in the USA New Balance sneaker. It's not cheap. It's an excellent sneaker, but I will pay a premium. And I think there is a growing number of people that will pay a premium. And the other thing is that if you're going to buy a Lincoln Nautilus made in China, is that really a domestic vehicle anymore? I mean, here in Ontario, we have Hondas being produced. We have Toyotas being produced. we have a Lincoln, or rather a Lexus model being produced by its parent company, Toyota. So I would argue that a Lexus or a Toyota or a Honda built in Ontario is far more of a domestic product than a Lincoln Nautilus built in China. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that I would rather buy a made in Japan product and when it comes to an automobile, because at least Japanese vehicles, or at least the country of Japan, I should say, is a democracy. It's not an odious regime like China. And finally, folks, don't think I'm one of these people that likes to bash the domestic auto industry or the Ford Motor Company for that matter either. This here is my 2017 Ford Fusion. It has been an excellent car. The other car at the Menzoid household is the 2009 Ford Explorer Sport Track. Of course, the Adrenaline Edition. That truck has been an absolute gem. I can't even bear to part with it. But if this is really the game plan for the Ford Motor Company to shift production of its vehicles not only out of North America, but to China, the source of this debilitating Wuhan virus, will there be a Ford in my future in the years to come? I'm sorry to say, I sincerely doubt it. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, I know you come to the Rebel to get the other side of the story, so why not pay $8 a month and get the full meal deal? I'm speaking about our premium content subscription service, Rebel News Plus. Please go to rebelnewsplus.com, sign up, and never miss another Rebel video.